Actually, that is a difficult question, even though it looks like so simple.
I don't ask easy question, and I apologize for that. That's why a lot of people run away from me. That's the truth. You struggle to decide when to say and when to keep quiet in a conflict.
So just in a conflict, when there is a conflict situation.
Conflict doesn't always mean that you're having active fighting. Conflict can be mental conflict too. Somebody's behavior might be conflicting from yours. Conflict is not always active. You're in a war zone right now, you're fighting. That's not always a conflict.
Right.
Conflict can be anything. It's a conflicting situation or a presentation of another person or a situation. The second part of the question was, in the recent past, did you say something for which you have a regret today? Who wants to go first? Brave person has to go first.
Do you struggle to decide when to say? Yeah, of course, yes. I mean, to be frank, yes, Archana, I do struggle after the fact, right? So if I said something, I regret. And if I have not said something also, I regret, thinking that, okay, maybe when you have not said something, it means that, okay, oh, you are at fault. So you're just like quite are accepting that. And in that conflict, right, you're accepting that. And have you said something in and then regret? Yes, that also. Maybe that, oh, maybe we could have just kept quiet, not to prolong whatever that conflict, right? Or take it to that worse.
So sometimes we don't have clarity whether to say or not to say. Even if we have said we have a regret, if we don't say we have a regret. You encounter that kind of situation often. It's a very honest answer.
I struggle, and sometimes writing. There is a group, and then it could be a family group or like just the work group. There is a situation, and I always type and then delete it. That no, just leave it. Why to say that? Again, what kind of conflict is that? It depends on that. If that conflict is not affecting me, I might be quiet. But if that conflict is somebody who's very close to me and a family, then of course I will open my mouth. But then I won't struggle. I will just say. It depends what kind of. I mean, I'm not able to answer unless or until I bring a conflict in my mind. Like,
okay, that's fine. Kiran, you want to go next?
I couldn't speak before, and I would just keep quiet, but then later on I would realize it's not good for me, and it would just keep piling up. Then everything else comes up, so that was not good also. But definitely now, it's more now talking in a confident and assertive way about the things which are right, which I think is right. And I just want to bring that point also. But I don't tie into that, whether it's taken into consideration or not. I don't care about that. I need to disconnect from this because I get too attached where I want to say it when actually I really don't need to say. I can just listen, and so I need to work on that where I can listen other people, not have to prove my point. Have I said anything and regret today? In the recent past, I did say things, but I realize it and I apologize when I've calmed down. So I don't have regret because I think I've done my duty, and I actually, like a people pleaser, I don't want people to feel anything negative about me because I move on. I don't keep things piling up also. Like if somebody's not happy, I know that I have to fix that situation.
I'm okay in general. And at least from the last few years, I would say that I'm able to avoid that kind of situation at work, at home. So yeah, in past that happened, but I think now I don't care. If I have to say something, I'll say. Normally I'm okay using the right word to say things, which mean people may not like it, but if I have to say, I'll just convey the message. So I'm not finding that is difficult now for me.
Very good. Sandhya, you want to go next?
Yeah, I think for me, conflicts happen a lot of times at home specifically, and with my husband or with my son. There are like various things. I say things and then I realize sometimes, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. That's a process that I'm working on. Should probably keep quiet. Recently, I think to another family member where I actually spoke, where I just keep quiet. Time I actually did a good thing, I think. Where I stood up for myself because I knew what they were talking is not correct.
Of late, as the age advances, less responsibilities, therefore less situations of such getting conflicts. Well, so nowadays, no problem. That's my nature, that I don't talk much. So I keep quiet. But that's also not good. Where we have to speak out, we should do that. That's what I feel. Because I avoided the situation probably, which is also not right.
True. Sometimes you have to speak up.
I'm the second. So we are four of us. So usually I used to be quiet. Like, I used to, any conflict and all, I used to try to solve it, like, the mediator, like, without try. But after some time, I realized for some issues, like they were telling, like, you just want to be good, you don't speak it out, actually, where you have to. And then I started telling my younger sister and all, like, where I have a difference of opinion. I started expressing. Then I felt somewhat when towards a close relationship, we have to for the good. Then she was feeling bad, like how Didi can say like this to me. Earlier she used to listen to me. Then she also started introspection. Somewhere I am also going wrong. Now she can understand. And I'm also happy, like she's also correcting herself. Even if it's my elder sister also, brother also, I just communicate what I want to, but in a good way. I want my children, we want them that they should not commit any mistakes. So we tell them, don't do this, don't do that. And then automatically my daughter, she used to get irritated. And and I used to get upset whether it was right. My husband will say, we should just tell them that this is wrong, this is right. I just tell it and just leave it off. And so now it's okay, like, I am also okay. I don't feel bad after telling also. I'll just tell them, thing has come to my mind very nicely. It's their journey. When I used to tell my children, then they used to quote me that Khalid Ibrahim's lines, we have just come through. And then even then, I never used to understand that.
Children have become so smart.
Yeah, I guess the question was कि आप conflicts avoid करते हैं या
बोल देते हैं.
Yeah, okay. Yes, like I try to avoid conflicts with my family members, because I feel like, okay, it's not my job to tell them or to correct somebody. They can be right in their own way, and I can be, just be on one side and not let that affect me. So even at work, I try to avoid conflicts. That's one of, but sometimes I also say it now that I've become aware of certain situations where I have to distance myself or create a boundary for myself. Then I say it out now, and I let that, if people want to absorb that, that's great. If not, then that's great as well. I guess when you're focused more on yourself, I think you try to create boundaries and still talk out loud even when you have conflicts with people.
It's very good answers. And so you have to remember a few points while you're dealing with conflict. Okay. First point is, whom are you dealing with? Is it going to make a difference whether you have to speak or you don't speak? Very, very important. There's a saying in Hindi, bhais ke aage been nahi bajana chahiye. That means you don't speak in front of a person who really won't understand anything. It's better to keep quiet rather than wasting your energy. So you have to assess the other person also, whether whatever you're saying is going to have any effect on that person or not. And I'm not talking about children, talking about adults, family members. Second thing, can you say your words without causing any agitation in your mind? Second most important thing. Even if you're saying the right thing, if it's causing a lot of agitation in your mind, you're getting a lot of tears in your eyes, it's better to just calm down first. And it's okay to say that I'm not able to speak right now, but I have some points, I'll discuss it later. It's perfectly fine. You're not avoiding it, but you're just buying time for yourself. And then you can analyze situation with a slight cooler mind and then discuss it further. It's the ego that wants to reply right away. And also very important is, if somebody has a bad opinion about you, they don't think very good about you, no matter how much you explain, they're going to keep thinking bad about you. So sometimes the energy should not be utilized in proving your point. Sometimes it's good to withdraw. Take the path of least harm. Path of least harm means, see whether by saying, think of a bigger goal, bigger picture. What is your end goal? What do you want? You just want to prove yourself clean, or do you want this relationship to sustain? What do you want to do? So in that case, sometimes when you have a bigger goal in life, then sometimes it's just very good to just withdraw and let them think what they want to think about you. It really doesn't matter sometimes. So the point of a argument or a conflict is not to get yourself clean, that they should not think this way about me, rather than what is my bigger goal here? Whether if I just withdraw and just pretend nothing has happened, is it helping me go towards my bigger goal? Or should I just tell my point so that it prevents a bigger harm? Okay, so you have to assess each and every situation is different. So there's a story in Ramcharitmanas, Sundarkand. It's one of my favorite chopais. This just Sursa badan badhava, tasuduni kapi roop dikhava. That means Sursa is the Rakshasi that is preventing Hanuman to go forward. She's increasing the size of her body and the mouth. So Hanumanji is also increasing, becomes double. Okay, when she opens her mouth this much, he becomes double of that size. So then Sat jo jan tehi anand kina ati laghu roop Pavanasutalina means she became really big, 100 yojan. 1 yojan is like 13 kilometers, made her mouth so big. At the same time, Hanumanji became very small, like a mosquito, went into her mouth and came out and went to his path. What does that signify? That he said, okay, I have gone into your mouth. You asked me to come into your mouth. I have done that. Now I'm going to my work, which I have to work for Ram. So sometimes your bigger goal, like working on yourself, you don't really care what people think about you. You don't have to prove yourself sometimes. You just keep working on yourself. And if you're really working on yourself and improving, the other person will realize that what you are, where you're going, and what your intentions are. Sometimes it's just complete withdrawal, again, depending on the situation, is good. Okay? Because no matter how much you try, you cannot fight with ego of the other person. It's worthless. It's futile. And again, you are not, if you have to change somebody's habit, forget about it. If other person only feels, then only you can change somebody's habit. Everybody is responsible for their own journey. Even with children, you tell them once, twice, once your children are like 15, 16, 17 years of age, you just guide them, but it's totally up to them what they want to do, what path they want to select. But yes, to prevent a bigger harm, you must speak out, whether at the level of your family, level of your community or a nation, wherever you can do that safely without hurting anybody and without hurting your own self. I think you should speak up, as long as you're not causing harm to yourself and to others. You should not be shying from speaking of the truth, no matter where you are, but speak your truth with compassion and love and for a bigger benefit and not with ego. Any questions?
I think, Archana, these, whatever you told, right? I mean, we could relate to many of the incidents that happened. I think at least I could relate a lot.
Good. So this is real yoga. Controlling our tongue is a very big yoga. Why are you laughing, Sandhya? Share the joke.
I understand, but it's also very difficult for me.
Difficult to keep your mouth shut? So we are all in a journey. So it's perfectly fine if you're not able to keep your mouth shut right now and you blabber on simple things. But that awareness, even after you've blurted out, is also okay. And again, you have to assess the person whom you're talking to, whether that person will have any effect on it, even now or later. And you're not there to embarrass the person or have an ego clash with that person, but you're telling your truth without any conflict. That's more important, because everybody, wherever they are, they think they're doing the best, isn't it? Because they are. They don't know better than that. So everybody has a right to exist. But also, if you think you're saying will prevent a bigger harm or create a difference in the society or in an individual, you must speak out with love. The intention should be love. Intention should be greater benefit. Because when you have absolute clarity about your own purpose of life, then you will not have conflict with anybody. You'll only propel others with their purpose of life. Propel them to go towards their purpose of life. Karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachanam. You only have adhikar over your karmas, not over the results of the actions. So once you say, don't expect a result. That person will only behave according to what you have, suggestion you have given. You let go of the result. So this is a shlok from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 47. Karmani eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadashanam. Not over the phal of your actions. The second line is even beautiful. Just because you're not expecting the result of the action, you should not stop doing your karma. Not stop saying or doing the right stuff. So you still do the right stuff from your side all the time, but out of love again. For a bigger picture, bigger goal, always have that in mind. And keep working on yourself. More and more.
I just want to say that all these things, as you said, like we try to implement, and of course, one should implement and executing all these things in our lives. It is easier when it's not your family, but when it comes to your, I know like what you're going to say, that Prasita ji said that the children have come from us. So I know those things, but it is very hard to digest when something when there is a conflict or there is anything which you want to address in your family, because you want your family to be 100% right, like perfect. I don't think so. Being a mother, it's my theory, but I think all the mothers, like, they want their families to be 100%, perfect. So I know I'm struggling with that. With others, I have no problem. I withdraw. I hardly have any conflict with anyone because I just withdraw myself and I say, it's not affecting me. Why should I move on? Like, they have to move on. I have to move on. It's fine. When it is your immediate family, that's the hardest part, I feel.
It's also because the attachment is very strong. Emotional dependence is very strong. And second, the equation is wrong. Equation is you're thinking that I want my family to be perfect. I have to do things right. Okay. Or I want everything to be right. So now this family, whoever has come in your life with a conflict or situation, has actually come for your growth. You don't understand that. You are not doing things for them. You actually know nobody to do things for them.
Right.
Kartapan is too high for you right now. That I am doing it, I want it perfect, I have to do this way. You have to change the equation. The person who has come in your life with a situation or a problem, as you so to speak, it's for you to strengthen. He is a part of your sadhana, or she is a part of your sadhana. How you navigate will take you towards your path. Now the equation you have to change. It's up to you.
I'm trying myself hard, and I totally understand that this was our soul, and then that's what we decided to learn from each other, and that's why things happen in your life, and that's why these conflicts arise. But to digest it,
Just because that but is coming from not 100% understanding, not 100% surrender. Once you have that 100% surrender, then that but will not arise.
how to do that 100% surrender?
Do manas course.
Because
Next time.
again, I would say
That's
is the hard part to surrender yourself. I think that is the most difficult thing. Like acceptance comes, forgiveness comes, gratitude comes, but then when it comes to surrendering,
Ye Bhagwan.
that
Yes.
is
You have to chant God's name. That's all you can do. Nothing
I
else
know.
will bring surrender to you. Surrender is there's no difference between surrender and God's love. Last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 66. Go and read it.
I'm trying.
Sarvadharmani paritajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarv papebhyo mokshasyami ma shuchaha. Come and surrender to me, Arjun. I will take all your agitation away, papam away.
Right.
Surrender, abandon all your duties. Sarva dharmani paritajya. Abandon all duties. Where? Mentally. Right now you're mentally doing a lot. That's a problem. Okay, let's begin. Okay. This is a very big topic, but thank you so much for sharing your opinions and experiences. We all learn and grow from each other.